You're not going to believe the newest twists in the Idaho college murders case. This story just keeps getting more shocking, and what's coming up might leave you speechless. So don't even think about clicking away, because we're diving deep into everything, from newly leaked evidence to chilling witness details and the defense's latest jaw-dropping move. Trust me, you'll want to hear every detail, because the last part will change how you see this case. Bryan Kohberger, the 29-year-old criminology PhD student accused of brutally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students in November 2022, is once again back in the headlines, and not for the reasons you'd expect. From a moment he was arrested at his parents' Pennsylvania home in December 2022, the case has gripped the nation, but now it's taking another turn as his defense team pushes back hard, claiming law enforcement may have violated his rights and calling into question key DNA evidence used to charge him. For those unfamiliar or needing a refresher, the murders took place in a house just steps away from the University of Idaho campus in Moscow. The victims, 21-year-olds Kaylee Goncalves and Madison Mogan, and 20-year-olds Xana Kernadal and Ethan Chapin, were found stabbed to death in their beds in the early hours of November 13th, 2022, a crime so brutal it stunned not only the small college town, but the entire nation. Police initially struggled to find any leads, and fear spread across the college campus. Students left in droves, terrified of a killer on the loose, while authorities kept details close to their chest. For weeks, rumors swirled, conspiracy theories exploded on TikTok and YouTube, and the parents of the victims publicly begged for answers. Then, in late December, everything changed when Bryan Kohberger was arrested across the country. Authorities claimed DNA found on a knife sheath left at the crime scene matched Kohberger's DNA, and phone data placed him near the victim's home multiple times in the weeks leading up to the murders, including in the early hours of the night of the killings. But now, his defense is arguing that the way law enforcement obtained this DNA evidence violated Kohberger's constitutional rights. They claim investigators use a technique called genetic genealogy to link DNA from the crime scene to Kohberger's father's DNA found on trash outside their Pennsylvania home. This method, popularized by the Golden State Killer case, involves using publicly available genealogy databases to track down potential suspects by finding familial DNA connections. His attorneys argue that this process essentially allowed law enforcement to conduct a wide-reaching search without proper judicial oversight, potentially violating privacy rights in a way that could set a dangerous precedent for future investigations. They are now pushing for the court to throw out this DNA evidence, arguing that without it, the prosecution's case could crumble. But that's not the only twist in this case. Just recently, newly unsealed documents revealed more about the chilling details from the night of the murders. A surviving roommate told investigators she saw a masked man dressed in black walking past her, just feet away, shortly after 4 a.m., the estimated time of the killings. She described him as tall, with bushy eyebrows, and athletic build, matching Kohberger's description according to police documents. There's also evidence that Kohberger's phone was turned off during the time of the murders, but data shows it was near the victim's home before and after the killings, raising further questions about whether he was stalking the victims before the murders occurred. Kohberger's defense is now hinting at challenging the credibility of this eyewitness testimony, suggesting the identification is shaky and the witness was under extreme stress during the sighting. They are also questioning whether the police rushed to judgment, focusing on Kohberger too quickly and ignoring other possible suspects. This case has also sparked debates about the use of digital evidence in modern investigations. Prosecutors argue that Kohberger's phone data and surveillance footage of his white Hyundai Elantra near the crime scene that night are compelling evidence. However, the defense claims that just because Kohberger's car and phone were near the area doesn't prove he committed the murders, especially in a college town where many students live and pass through frequently. Now, before we continue, let me know in the comments what you think about genetic genealogy being used by law enforcement. Do you think it's a powerful tool to catch dangerous criminals? Or does it cross the line into invading innocent people's privacy? I'd love to hear your take, because this is a debate that's going to keep growing as technology advances. And if you're finding this breakdown valuable, do me a quick favor. Hit the like button so more people can find this detailed update, and subscribe if you want to stay informed on every new development in this case and other high-profile true crime stories. It helps this channel grow and ensures you never miss an update, especially as we continue to follow this trial closely. Now back to the case. Kohberger's trial has faced multiple delays, largely because of his defense's challenges to the evidence, the DNA, and the methods used to gather key data. This means the families of the victims have been forced to wait for justice, reliving their trauma each time new details emerge in court filings and media leaks. Adding to the complexity, Idaho is a death penalty state, and prosecutors have announced their intention to pursue the death penalty if Kohberger is found guilty. This has sparked further debate in the community, with some families supporting the move, saying it's the only way to get true justice, while others are concerned about the lengthy appeals process and the emotional toll it will take. Recently, the court unsealed more than 100 pages of documents showing the extensive investigation, including search warrants for Kohberger's phone, social media accounts, and even the contents of his vehicle, where authorities allegedly found hair strands, a stained mattress cover, and other potential evidence. Yet, the defense continues to push back, questioning the chain of custody for this evidence and raising doubts about whether the crime scene was properly secured. They argue that the investigation was under intense public pressure, leading to potential mistakes that could undermine the case against Kohberger. Another key development involves digital forensics. Investigators reportedly found that Kohberger searched for information related to the case after the murders, including looking up news articles and following updates about the investigation, which prosecutors argue is indicative of guilt. However, the defense counters that it is not unusual for someone studying criminology to follow high-profile cases, and that this behavior alone does not prove involvement. As we move closer to the trial, which is expected to begin later this year, the public's interest in the case has only intensified. True crime enthusiasts, legal analysts, and major media outlets continue to dissect every court filing and hearing, trying to piece together what happened on that tragic November night. And here's something that might surprise you. Kohberger, who previously studied criminal justice, reportedly discussed his interest in understanding the mind of a criminal with classmates. Some former classmates have come forward saying he was deeply interested in what motivated people to commit crimes and often came across as socially awkward and intense. Many now look back on these comments with chilling hindsight, wondering if Kohberger's academic pursuits were tied to something darker. Was he studying criminal behavior to understand it, or was he using it to hide in plain sight? This is one of those cases that will likely be studied for years to come, not just because of the brutality of the crime, but also due to the legal complexities surrounding genetic genealogy, digital forensics, and the evolving relationship between technology and privacy in the justice system. As we wait for the trial to start, many are asking, will the prosecution be able to prove Kohberger's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, or will the defense's challenges create enough doubt to avoid conviction? And if he is convicted, what will the sentencing look like in a state where the death penalty is still very much on the table? If you've made it this far in the video, you're exactly the kind of viewer who loves deep dive true crime updates, and I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments what part of this case you find most shocking so far. Was it the DNA evidence, the chilling eyewitness account, or the possibility that a criminology student might have turned into a killer? And remember, this story isn't over. We will continue to track every major development in the Bryan Kohberger Idaho murder case, bringing you detailed, fact-based updates without the sensationalism, so you always stay informed. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big update on this case and other high-profile stories. Your support means a lot, and it helps keep this channel going, especially as we cover stories that many overlook but are important to understanding the world around us. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more updates as this case continues to unfold.